Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management? We're going to cover healthcare savings accounts and why they're pretty darn awesome for those who can use them. And to do that, I'm joined by Kent Halleen, an Associate Wealth Manager at Annex Wealth Management. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, Danny. Great to join you.
There were more than 33 million HSAs holding nearly $100 billion in 2022. The key is you're eligible to have contributions made to an HSA when your medical insurance is a high deductible plan that is HSA eligible, because not all high deductible plans are HSA eligible. So you got to check with your insurer or your employer, make sure that yours qualify. Kent, what are the limits? How much can you pile into these bad boys?
Yeah, so for the year 2023, the maximum amount for somebody with an individual medical plan is $3,850. And for a family plan where you are covered under your employer, the maximum amount to contribute is $7,750.
That's a lot of money.
That is. One thing to note is after 55, you have the $1,000 catch-up where you can contribute in addition to that $3,850 or that $7,750.
And the other good thing is that's a way to reduce taxable income. That's totally a win-win.
Yeah, it's an outstanding win-win to be able to put the money in tax-free, let it grow tax-free, and then also for qualified medical expenses, it can come out tax-free as well.
Yeah, and it comes time to spend that HSA money, you got to pay attention to a couple of things.
So when it's time to come and spend the money, at that point, you can either pay out of pocket for that cost and save those receipts, or you can pay directly from that HSA. The benefit of using the receipt strategy is you can keep that money invested in the HSA and at that point let it grow and reimburse yourself tax-free later on down the road.
One of the things that people love about these HSAs is they are triple tax advantage. Can you break that down?
So for qualified medical expenses, and that's the key phrase there, qualified medical expenses, it's not tax-free for any expense. Luckily, there's quite the substantial list as far as pulling that money out tax-free. Comes out of your either paycheck tax-free from the employer or individual contributions are tax-free as well. It continues to grow in that account without taxes being incurred on that money. And then if you pull it out for those qualified medical expenses, it comes out tax-free.
Is there an RMD? I mean, do you have to take these things out at a certain point in your life?
There is no RMD. The benefit of the HSA is you can defer that pull out of the HSA when you're looking at the receipt strategy that we talked about before. One thing to be aware of is in order to maintain that extremely beneficial tax treatment, the beneficiary should be your spouse, and then after your spouse, there actually can be some additional planning and tax considerations that we want to look at.
When you're considering getting into an HSA, if you qualify for it, you just need to know you're going to spend money on healthcare during your lifetime. I mean, when we first got involved with HSAs, we had kids, we had boys. We knew that they were going to be going through some money, right?
Very much so, yeah. There's going to be some broken bones or something there. But when you're looking at trying to either keep the money invested, and again, talking about that receipt strategy, you can save the money in the HSA, keep it invested, but at the same time, you know you're going to have some medical expenses. Those that have saved extremely well into their HSAs, again, we'll want to look at the beneficiaries and the passing on to make sure you fully absorb that tax benefit, the triple tax benefit on the HSAs.
Let's talk a little bit about the investing component of an HSA. You don't have to, but you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at the benefits of investing that HSA, it's an extremely underutilized benefit. Looking at a study from the Employee Benefit Research Institute, roughly 88% of HSA account holders weren't utilizing that benefit and they were holding it in cash. So looking at the potential growth over time, whether it's earning interest in something like bonds or investing in the market, that is a massive benefit that a lot of people are unfortunately missing out on.
And when you retire, the good stuff happens because you can start spending that.
Correct. To be able to reimburse yourself for all those medical expenses that come out throughout time, that's a massive benefit of the HSA.
This might be a tricky question, but which should you fund first, a 401k, an IRA, or an HSA?
A tricky question, but at the same time, there's a decent base answer. So depending on the complexity and the individual circumstances of someone, my answer might change a little bit, but the benefit of the HSA and what an extremely powerful savings tool is shouldn't overshadow the fact that an employer 401k, if you have that match, you should at least contribute up to that employer match to take that benefit. Otherwise, you're missing out on a benefit that's given to you based on your employment. So I would say contribute up to at least the minimum for the employer match. And then if you want to start funding your HSA, if you're eligible, that's the route I would go.
For investment, retirement planning, tax planning, and estate planning, we do it as a fee-only fiduciary. Know the difference. Our website, annexwealth.com. Click that Get Started button. Kent Halleen, Associate Wealth Manager at Annex Wealth Management. Thanks for your insight.
Thank you, Danny.